Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Art. There's that old saying of buyer's remorse, and as I was getting ready for the show today, I kept thinking, and I'm looking at the 10-year bond, and I'm thinking there are probably some buyers out there that have some remorse, not because they bought, is because they thought they should wait till election is over, until the Fed has spoken. And what's happened with that?
Well, I think if nothing else, people are learning their lesson, unfortunately, because you're right. I mean, it goes back to 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago. When the Fed met last month, they lowered the Fed funds rate 0.5%. And what happened after that? Rates got worse. They didn't get better. And as we've talked on this show before, I had many people I had been talking to, both on the purchase side and on the refinance side, who basically essentially said, no, I'm going to wait. First, it was wait for the Fed meeting last month. That happened. Outcome was not what they expected. And then it became, or more of waiting because of the election. And the and this is something I've observed over many years, several decades, that every election year, particularly not so much the off election years, but the presidential election years, there's always a tendency to think that somehow that's going to have a significant or dramatic impact on mortgage rates, one way or the other. And I got to tell you, I'm not sure that really bears out. And so I think that's also the case this year. Now, again, I just said, after it became known that Trump won, the bond yield spiked by quite a bit. Again, we almost got to 4.5. It's already settled back down. Most of what it spiked up to has already been recovered. So now we're back to more of what's going on going forward in terms of the financial markets. And of course, as I mentioned, the narrative has changed. It's now more about deficits. And what are we going to do about funding those deficits? And is tax policy going to affect those deficits and then maybe have an effect on mortgage rates? And so I think that's where the focus is now. And I'm going to argue that ultimately it may prove not to matter very much.